Hello and welcome to the Milltown Way, the independent Shamrock Rovers podcast covering all things hoops. I'm Ryan Brennan and I'm joined here by Adam Casey. This is episode 41 and we are recording this literally minutes after the full-time whistle in Malta. Floriana 2, Shamrock Rovers 0. That's that's a sigh from Adam already. That's the first leg of the Champions League first qualifying round, and it was not a good night for Rovers. We'll get straight into that. We'll get into full reaction, what went wrong, what Tuesday night at Tallinn now looks like with a 2-0 deficit to overturn. We'll also talk about Jonathan Afolabi, who I touched on in the last episode. And since then, he's been confirmed as a Rovers player, and a sign that carries real significance for where the squad is going. And we'll close then, as I said, with Tuesday night's game at Tallaght Stadium, the return leg of Rovers and Floriana, and what needs to be done to keep this tie alive. Emotions running high, so we'll just get into it.
Yeah, we might as well.
Unfortunately, we have to get into it.
Yeah, it's always bleak recording an episode right after a loss, let alone when the loss is about 12 seconds ago.
And I feel like anytime we do a late episode, when this is earlier compared to our normal program of a late one, but
feels like it's been a loss.
It's just I feel like it's never a good result when we do late.
It's
after
not,
game ones.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to be. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
We just have to go. We have to dive in
head first.
Yeah.
Quite literally. Look, overall disappointing game. It's a game that we thought Rovers maybe should be winning, maybe a draw at least. Going to Floriana.
Yeah.
It was deemed as the favourable draw when it was confirmed that Rovers would face Floriana. And we all came away with the thought of that it was going to be the favourable draw, but here we are licking our wounds as Rovers go 2 behind heading into next week.
Yep. Well, we'll try not to harp on about next week as much on just the game today, but first off, the stream.
Let's whip it back bare bones here.
Yeah.
We go back to it before the game even started, and that was the stream, of course. Every fan would have experienced it, that was trying to watch the game, quite literally far and wide. And that was it was initially supposed to be a Maltese PPV. It was supposed to be then LOI TV had it for a bit. They had it on their website. Got changed again. Ultimately, look, it ended up costing more. It started off. When we woke up today, it was €7. Then LOI TV had it, and that was presumably 10. And then by the end of it, it was 12.
That's inflation.
Just kept going up every time you heard a new channel.
Yeah, but the stream then started a minute late or something. Then
it was a blank screen, and then sure, everyone's nervously typing the same thing, saying it's not working for them either.
Just came up, and the ref was blowing his whistle.
And then there was a band on.
Yeah, there was no sound for a little while.
Yeah.
Then there was a bit of sound. You could hear the crowd a bit. You could hear a few chants on the Rovers players. Then there was a marching band.
I thought the Artane went to the away game as well.
It was really weird, but it was so loud. It felt like it was either in the studio itself, or it could have been in the ground, because there was a motorbike track.
It had everything.
It was like really Universal Studios or something.
But the only thing it missed was pure cinema.
Yeah.
From a Rovers perspective, anyways, they might have enjoyed it. But yeah, obviously, look. Few hundred Rovers fans made the trip as well to sunny Malta. It was 29 degrees during the match as well, so definitely a scorcher.
Yeah.
It was definitely a hot one.
It feels like that here as well.
It does, yeah. As we're recording this, we're melting away, but
yeah,
we can't have a fan on either because of the noise. So
yeah, that's true. So we're suffering for the people.
Exactly, we are. Yeah, we're the people's people. But yeah. That started it off. Maybe that was giving the early warning signs of what the day was to come.
Yeah,
struggling in every form. But yeah, Rovers ultimately fall 2-0. The first half I thought was positive for Rovers.
Yeah, it was. It was positive to start. They had a majority of possession in the first half and within the first while. But it was as we've harped on many times, the quality of the chances being created. Rovers had chances, but it just felt like the bounce or the last. It was the last ball. It was that last little bit that just wasn't there throughout the whole first half. And despite having the ball the whole time and being on top of them and just pressing and not really giving them any place to breathe. Just but even with that, it wasn't like they tested the keeper that well, or they hit the post. There was a few bobbles around, and it just missed the player, or this or that. But there was no real high quality chances or high quality moments from Rovers at the start.
Yeah, it was quite slow to get into. We'll say that for on the Rovers front. Um, Lacking that killer touch, it's the big one. And we'll get onto it a bit later as well in a bit more detail. But lacking the killer touch is something that Rovers have had an issue with. I think for a large part of the season, really.
Yeah,
It's something that, as you said, we've harped on about long enough.
yeah,
And today was just another example of it, and now it's cost Rovers dearly. At the moment, anyways. Look, there's another leg. It's only half time, really,
yeah.
but yeah, no, there was about 13 minutes into the game. Looked like Rovers starting well, and Brennan had a good ball into Michael Noonan. But not even 10 minutes after that, Ed McGinty then forced into a save. It didn't look too threatening, but he still had to get there, get down, and get to it. Um, the moment where it was a bit sloppy at the back from Rovers league race, particularly at one moment.
Where he just kind of kicked it into.
Yeah, leads to a throw in. Leads to a Floriana throw in. Um, but then after that, few good decent chances for Rovers. I'd say not. I don't think they're clear cut or anything. Jack Byrne had a ball into Michael Noonan, and he mishits it. I think it resulted in a corner for Rovers. But like that, it was just the timing of it was off, maybe from Noonan, and that I don't know, just that not getting the rub of the green.
Yeah, it was just one of them days. We
Yeah,
just weren't getting the bounce of the ball. Really, it was just them big chances you'd expect them to get. That on any other next Tuesday or last Tuesday they might have got. It's just one of them days where the ball just doesn't land their way and didn't go their way.
yeah, it was. Yeah, that's exactly it. Then because on about just after half an hour, and note that the chances were increasing. There was a ball, and that bounces basically around the box, just in front of the 6 yard box. No one gets their kind of touch on it, or no one gets the touch they wanted on it. More maybe is a probably better way of explaining it. That no one can just kind of get a bit of power behind it and just drill it and see where it goes. It doesn't work, and yeah, like, that was the story of the half, really. And yeah, like there was a corner delivered a threat down, no one get the final touch again, and then you have right on the brink of half time. Lo and behold, Floriana take the lead literally
Yeah,
on the 45th minute. Um, Muric was the goal scorer.
it was a great finish.
It was, yeah. He beats. It looks like he beats Corey O'Sullivan on the edge of the box
Yeah,
nearly, and then slots it into the keeper's bottom right.
yeah. Corey was marking him. He kind of faked him a little bit and just went inside a small bit, edge of the box, just into the box, and then smashed it into the corner. And yeah, quality finish and stuff. But with how much Rovers had the ball before, you would have thought that
Yeah, like
they
if
would have
either
been on.
side deserved to
Yeah,
have the lead at the
because
interval, it
they
was
didn't really have
Rovers.
many chances in the first half
No,
at
um,
all. Really, a
yeah,
few half chances kind of. Rovers made one or two, as you mentioned about the league race kicking the ball out for a throw in. Well, hit a player and then went out for a
mm,
throw in. It was just it was small moments like that where they were able to get in, but there wasn't anything that looked like that made them look threatening in any way. And then bag just before halftime, which was a great time to score.
worst time to concede.
Exactly, and they put it away, and they only needed the one chance really.
One chance is all it takes.
That's it. And goals do change games because we would have been going into halftime like, okay, Rovers didn't have as high quality chances as you would have liked, and they didn't do as much exciting play as you would have liked or would come to expect sometimes from them. But you're still going into half like you would have been going into half like, all right, come out now in the second half, full all guns blazing, get one or two. But then they score right at the half, and you're going into halftime now like, all right, we need to try get one back. It's a
Yeah,
different game entirely.
yeah, that's exactly it. It changes whatever Bradley was going to probably, whatever he had lined up to tell the players at the break, conceding on right on the brink of half time definitely disrupts that. And probably changes. It does change exactly how you're going to come out with the second half. Where I think if it's goalless at half time, there's probably that bit of a draw is not the worst result here. And particularly I think 1-0 you probably would have taken the draw. You would have taken it, of course, a 2-0, but yeah, when they go 1-0 behind, I think when it's goalless, you're thinking, well, there's the wins there for the taking, and it looked like it was for the first half. It looked like
Yeah.
Rovers would have easily been coming away with a win from that first leg as well.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, like it really looked like Rovers were going to come out in the second half and get something. But that goal from Murik, I think it's how it's pronounced.
Yeah, it looks like
We're back to this, the European footballer pronoun.
our pronunciation segment.
Yeah, and once that went in, that was a different game entirely. The Croatian striker.
Yeah, and even like punishing Rovers, um, is exactly what he done.
Yeah,
No two ways about it. But yeah, look, second half down, you're thinking it's only a goal. Yes, it came at the wrong time. So players come back here for the second half thinking, as I said, it's only a goal. It's not
no, yeah,
nothing catastrophic really. Then only like not even 5 minutes in the second half, Rovers have a decent chance, headed effort, and it turns out just to be quite comfortable for the keeper. There's a long ball then 10 minutes in to Michael Noonan. He doesn't make it in time, and then he was down on the ground for quite a bit as well. And it looked like he was quite hurt from that. Within a few seconds, Matt Healy gets 2 cards.
yeah. It was literally probably a minute apart, nearly. One of the Floriana players kind of spun him out just at the halfway line. He just fouled him. It was a yellow card every day because they're on the break, but then straight after they get the ball up and they take their free kick short and they go to play and he just drags the player to the ground and second yellow just like that.
Commentator kept explaining that as a rugby tackle.
Yeah, well, the commentator only
Showed
up for work about 10 minutes before, and anyone else who watched the stream, commenter talk about their experience because it felt like he was just reading off a prompt. Didn't really talk about what actually was happening in the game.
I noticed that. Yeah, like we said the same thing when because we were here watching it together. But yeah, it just looked like he was explaining all the facts he knew.
Yeah,
and it was like I think it sounded like he was just trying to drag that out until the end of the game. Started the game like the commentator started in about the 50th minute or so.
Yeah,
went on in the 50th minute to say which team is wearing what colours, as if the game hasn't been on 50 minutes, and then pronounced Tala. I'm pronouncing it like him now as well. Pronounces Tala Stadium as Talict. Calls Shamrock Rovers Shamrock, which is a common thing where people who aren't too familiar.
Talking about the pitch, the renovations of the pitch. 29 million they spent on it, or no, 500,000. Sorry.
Yeah, geez, that's a big, that's a big gap.
I was thinking because he mentioned the pitch has been there for 29 years.
Yeah.
But yeah, really weird commentary, and he was clearly late for work or something. He forgot it was this Tuesday.
Yeah. Yeah, it seemed that way, and anyways, and then but yeah, look back onto what happened on the pitch. I suppose not the commentators' fault that Rovers lost 2-0. Maybe it is.
Yeah. Could have been playing. You got subbed off at half time. That's why.
What I will say, once that red card came, I thought it was quite ridiculous for Matt Healy to be doing that. First of all, and second of all, my first thought was it's going to be an issue. It's going to be tough to not concede a second. Floriana are going to gain confidence alone from this.
Mm-hmm.
From the moment, and which they did, and obviously they go on and do score a second, proving my point. But yeah, it was just sloppy, silly. It's a silly mistake.
It was, and it was especially strange that they just happened so close together, and also the fact that, like, I understand the first one. Yeah, someone spun you. You're probably a little bit frustrated. He's breaking. You stick your leg out. You get a foul. You know it's a yellow. But then it's not like you forgot you got a yellow.
Yeah.
It was a second ago, and then you just dragged someone to the ground. It was nearly like he was just frustrated and was like, you know what? I'm going home.
Going for an early bath. It was quite warm.
Yeah, I'm going to ride those motorbikes around.
I'm joining the band. the band's getting back together.
But, yeah, I don't know. It's just You can't be doing that when you're 1-0 down, but you can't be doing that anytime,
No,
especially when you're 1-0 down.
especially like it's a European game.
Yeah,
You know,
it's a
it's
big match.
and Rovers. I don't know, over the years have been quite notorious to be the reason for their own downfall in European games. We've seen it before, silly
That's true.
mistakes, and but that's a prime example of one how Matt Healy picks up two cards in the space of it's probably 30 seconds. Probably I don't think it's even a minute.
No,
And I was double checking because I thought that was very close, and
it wasn't a minute because when you go on to like to check it on
they're the
any of
same
the
minute,
apps, it says 58.
58.
So it was within 60 seconds more than likely they got two yellow cards. It's like, check that. It's like when you see they used to always share that with, was it Piqueta?
Paqueta,
Yeah, he
Lucas
done it
Paqueta.
because he had a bet on himself.
Yeah. What are the odds on me getting two cards in a minute? Matt Healy, hold my beer. Yeah. But it's
He
and
was
look,
sloppy.
the these lads are well versed in playing big games.
They've played massive matches, and European football isn't anything new for them.
No,
It's not
they,
like they're stepping up for the first time in years, or it's a young team who haven't played in Europe. A majority of this team, despite how young the players are, excluding maybe an Adam Brennan or one or two others, new signings and stuff like that, have played in Europe, and not only have played in European qualifiers, have played in the proper tournaments themselves. So they're used to they're used to these big matches and going places and getting into tournaments at this point. It's becoming like a few years ago we'd be like, oh, I'd be delighted if you get Conference League. It's more now that if they don't get Conference League or something like that, it's a
yeah.
disappointment.
No, it is, yeah, and particularly when we've seen this draw, with Floriana, and then the winners of Ararat, Armenia, or Riga.
Yeah, it's a favourable draw. You don't get much easier draws for Champions League. Like,
Yeah, particularly like I think everyone has looked at this as a decent chance to get into the third round of the Champions League qualifiers, which we
yeah,
all know is European football alone.
yeah, you're
Uh,
guaranteed Conference League at that point,
yeah,
with a chance to get Europa too.
and Champions League.
Yeah, but yeah, that's
But yeah, no, like look, I'm not sitting here saying it's completely over and there's no
no, it's
chance
not.
next week, but it's a big ask going
It's
into
a
next
yeah,
week, and
massive.
I think this performance just
It wasn't good enough.
it doesn't reflect on how Rovers have performed in Europe as in the years of
No,
late. It's more of this reflective performance of Rovers a few years ago
yeah,
before they became more equipped to qualifying for tournaments, and
and it feels like it would be a bad way to bow out of. I know obviously they'll still have Conference League qualifiers and stuff like that, but it feels like yeah, if they were to bow out now next week, it just feels like a disservice to who Rovers have become on a European stage.
yeah, fully agree.
Not that like that's not what you'd expect. You're expecting them to go to these places and get results against certain teams, or even when they're not expected to get results, to push teams to their limits. Like we've seen that in games like in Europe.
Hmm.
We've seen that with getting draws against the likes of Applewell 2 years ago, or this was in the actual competition itself, but there was the Athens game. They took them to their limits.
Yeah, and last minute penalty
Yeah, it
was
was.
stopped Rovers from getting the win there.
It's all stuff like that, and yeah, it just feels like a disservice to the team and the squad to if they are to bow out like this. It's
With
just a sloppy performance.
out,
Sloppy is the word. Like just
out with a whimper.
undisciplined as well. Like I know we've talked about the red card and it was a silly thing to do, and players make mistakes. Matt Healy makes mistakes, but is that a mistake? Like, can you say it's a mistake to drag someone down or to make two bad fouls in a minute? Or is that just a loss of the head more than anything? Is that something a player can be blamed for?
Yeah, I don't know. It's a tough one, and
Mm.
as well as that, like, look, there'd be probably a multiple set of factors that all play in as well. Let's not forget that
No.
1-0 behind in a game where they probably feel like they should be winning at that point.
Yeah, it's hot. You have to
It's
travel. You're
hot,
frustrated, and like you understand that from his perspective.
yeah. But then like signs didn't look too bad after Rovers went down to 10. Yeah, then the Stevens have a headed attempt to
Yeah,
go over the bar. Not even 10 minutes after the red card. Asamoah was really good. So was Adam Brennan for that matter.
yeah. Asamoah made a massive impact when he came on.
Yeah, constantly down that left wing, constantly getting the better of his marker for for the very most part of it, anyways. In that battle, winning corners. There's a mix up with the keeper, which the commentator says something about having butterfingers and popcorn,
Yeah,
which was
that's what.
another weird one.
Yeah,
Um, and then a few minutes after that, McGinty makes a good save, leads. I think they have kind of a chance then again after that, and then the second goal goes in. A
yep,
rebound. McGinty saves the first shot, rebounds out, and I think his name is Ja who scores the second
yeah.
goal, and
It was, yeah,
yeah, 2-0. Very disappointing result. Huge defeat, I noted, as well as what I took of it. Um, might be too big of a hill to climb.
we're not going to rule them out, obviously,
No,
but
100%. But I just thought it's supposed to be a favourable draw as well, and
yeah,
Robert's going to lose 2-0.
yeah. Jazz scoring the striker, from Gambia. One thing again that the commentator kept talking about him getting booked. He was like,
Yeah,
"Oh, he might get booked now." I'm like, you,
ref's easiest decision this season.
yeah, you don't make a decision. When the player takes off the top of the yellow card, no matter what, it's not up to the ref.
Yeah,
And he kept mentioning it, and yeah, all right, it's not about the commentary, but
yeah,
we're really distracting ourselves from the
reality.
loss. But yeah, well, that was again. It wasn't that goal. I feel like was less against the run of play than the first half. Uh, as we mentioned, then the Stevens did have a header, and there was a little bit of life after the red card. But by the time Floriana scored that second, they'd been knocking on the door a lot more than they had at any other point in the game.
Yeah,
And the shot, yeah, it was. Could you say McGinty could have held on to it? It's hard to say.
it's a big ask. I
It
think
is a big ask.
not
Uh,
far out. He's not far out with a
no, and
good bit of
it's a
power,
good bit of
obviously as
power,
well.
and the striker's in the right place to
Yeah,
do that. And he made it even difficult to finish, difficult to save, even from a rebound at that distance. He made it even harder than it would usually be.
yeah. Dan, I think. I think if anything, probably for the rebound, I can't really see, particularly with the quality of the stream, who was picking Ja up. It's kind of, I don't know if anyone else had the issues with the stream of kind of hard to focus in on it at times and
Yeah,
a bit blurry and stuff.
it lagged a little bit of points. It was
Yeah.
an overall bad stream, really.
Yeah,
Dodgy
and a bad
commentary.
day.
Yeah,
But yeah, which look, Rovers didn't score any goals, and that takes us on to our next point of this episode, and that's the striking options. Rovers have an additional striking option soon enough. Well, technically they have it now, but
yeah,
it seems to be that he's not match fit just yet. It might take a bit of time to get up to speed. But that's of course Jonathan Afolabi,
yep,
was confirmed on Sunday afternoon as a new Shamrock Rovers signing. One that I think excites most of us, I will say.
yeah,
Um, came through the Rovers Academy as well. And Rovers kept hitting that it's a full circle moment for him. But the point I want to get onto that I kind of didn't really get onto because he wasn't confirmed on the last episode, and that's what can he offer Rovers. So Stephen Bradley touched on that he is a striker who likes to play a lot more central than the strikers Rovers have now.
yeah. I feel like we have more nearly traditional wingers turned strikers than just an out and out striker.
Yeah, like you notice Michael Noonan drifts wide quite a bit when he's
Yeah,
up front. Obviously, Graham Burke roams
yeah,
anywhere on the pitch. John McGovern, not your traditional striker. Aaron Green is a bit, but even then, he does do a lot of dropping back side against Sligo as well last week. But yeah, look, Afolabi will offer something different,
yeah,
which is exciting for Rovers, and it's something we need.
yeah. Definitely.
Let's not beat around the bush here. One thing we have mentioned quite a bit throughout this podcast is that,
It's the chances Rovers, yeah,
yeah, and we saw it again tonight. Michael Noonan had a few chances, not too many, but he had a few that he didn't take. I know that he had a few against Sligo, which he didn't take. He played the whole second half in Sligo. And yeah, just can Afolabi be the one that kind of cut, maybe, like, it's not as if Rovers have this,
massive problem.
yeah, but they could very much do with a number 9 up top that
Yeah,
is there to play a lot of games. Look, he's 20. I think he's 26.
yeah,
And play a lot of games. Has no issue in playing the 2 games a week, for example, or for most weeks in anyways. And yeah, one that can do that and look, score goals in the meantime. And you're happy out really, and puts a lot of them chances away without having to kind of get a few before getting a taste for putting it in the net.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a promising move, and we've talked a lot about getting a striker. That's probably the position we've harped on the most about, especially a young striker, because it's no news flash that Graham Burke and Aaron Green aren't spring chickens necessarily.
Yeah, and
Well, they
one.
still might move like one.
Yeah,
The years that aren't necessarily on their side, you expect them to be a lot closer to the end than they are to the start.
yeah.
And obviously Michael Noonan, we don't know the situation there. Does this signing of a striker make it more likely now that?
I thought this. I was thinking about this.
Yeah, that's what I thought immediately. I was like, oh, so Michael Noonan will be gone now in about 2 months, not even 2 weeks.
Well, he turned, yeah, right, on the 31st of July. He turns 18.
So technically he could be gone from the 1st of August, probably.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, it's a tough one. I don't like Bradley. Look, we touched on it as well a couple of episodes ago about is Bradley's not lying, but is he telling the truth?
Yeah,
Um, and yeah, like with the arrival of Afolabi, it might give room to offset Noonan. However, if Rovers have that option, I don't think it'd be smart to
no,
offload Noonan. At least hold on to him until the end of the season. Look, we already know it's going to be a big year. Um, Again, still expecting Rovers to be in a European competition come when it starts back up in September or so,
yeah,
until Christmas at least. But if that's to be the case, you definitely need more than just Afalab, because at the moment it's just kind of like, not that it's just Noonan, but as in Noonan's 70, and then you have the other striking options are all in their 30s. One we haven't seen since the FAI Cup final last year.
mm-hmm.
So
Well, we don't know. Yeah, we seem to mention him a lot, but we still don't know closer. We're no close to any answers.
no. But yeah, so Afalabi can offer something different.
Mm-hmm.
We hope.
It's good to get an hour. He's from Tala, so
Yeah, you had an encounter with him before, is
actually,
it? Or was it you?
yeah, well, yeah, it was, yeah, in Specsavers.
Yeah,
We can't be ousting him, but he obviously had to pop in to get some bits.
bits and bobs. He'll be back in
But
soon enough.
he's from Tala originally. Was obviously in the Rovers Academy. Kind of was in with Lord Celtic, Mark Celtic, Joey's, and then we go to he was in the Southampton Academy for years.
Yeah,
And obviously was with Bowes originally in the league. Was with them for kind of a little bit of the end of 2022 and then all of 2023, where he'd be joint top goal scorer in the league.
well, this
15
is
goals.
this is what I was about to say. Of That's the form you want him to
That's what you
return with,
want.
because if you look at his numbers since, and he's played 29 games in 3 years,
Yeah, it's not good. Yeah.
he scored 4 goals in that time. But them numbers at Bowes are like, and
He
I
was
don't think
playing
it's
in
a
the
fair
Belgian league.
representation.
Yeah, the Belgian league is one a high quality league. Like so is the League of Ireland, I'm not saying it's not. Belgian league is a very high quality league now. But also, yeah, it's just
Chances were limited as
yeah,
well.
chances were very limited. He was out on loan during that time as well with Camber.
You gonna pronounce that club that he most recently played for? So I tried it in
Uh,
the last episode.
Kortrijk.
Yeah, I go with Kortrijk maybe.
Kortrijk, yeah. Yeah, I think that's not a bad shout.
If there is any Belgians listening.
Yeah, please correct us because, well, our pronunciations have never been the best.
No.
But yeah, he was on loan with Camber, who were at the time in the second division. Well, it's called the Eerste Divisie in
Ooh.
the Netherlands, but it's the second division. They're after actually securing promotion up. But he was with them for one season, but that was the most he's played in a season since he's left the league. I've only got 14 games that year.
Yeah.
Isn't a lot. Kind of in this since in the technical 2025-2026 season for Kortrijk, he's only played 2 matches. It's not.
He has had
For,
this is
he's
what's
been
been
injured,
the
yeah.
one. So
But also, he has been injured, but those matches, his 2 appearances that he's had, both in November, one was 1 minute, which he actually scored a goal in, and 8 minutes. So
did he score a goal there?
No, he didn't. He has a goal every 9 minutes, basically.
I don't mind that then. That's a goal. what, that's a goal every 10 minutes in a 90-minute match. Then?
Yeah,
Or sorry, no, 10 goals.
every game.
But yeah, he's had a spell with injuries. Hamstring injury across 24-25 season, missed 215 days. Muscle injury in 22-23, 134 days he missed there. So and he ended up missing 21 games between Canberra and Cork for that.
Hmm.
Um, and he's missed 11 games then elsewhere too. So like, look, he's had his fair share where that's going to hamper it as well. And then
Hopefully, yeah. Hopefully now that doesn't happen here with Rovers. But this is one reason for why I don't think we'll see him necessarily play a game for a little while. Like
yeah,
it's not going to be like he's playing the cup next week or anything like that.
yeah, I
It
wouldn't
will take a while for him to
suspect
get
it.
back to match fitness, especially with the injuries. But don't rush him back. It's clear that he's been suffering with injuries. Don't rush him straight back into it just for him to get injured again, for his sake and for the team's sake.
Yeah, and I think as well as that, look, Stephen Bradley is the perfect example of
He
someone who
knows
won't
what
be
he's
rushing
doing.
anyone back.
No, I
Um,
don't need to tell him how to do his job.
exactly, yeah. But I even we've seen it all before with how he does ease players. If anything, he probably acts on the side of caution and
Yeah,
eases them in more than maybe what they need. But sure, uh, only Bradley and the player would know that too
yeah.
as well. So yeah, look, I don't expect Stephen Bradley to be pushing him ahead of schedule or anything like that. If anything, he acts on the other side of the schedule. But yeah, look, Afolabi is one that might just tighten up Rovers going forward. Um, as I said, with Noonan tends to just miss a few chances and stuff. Like, look, as every striker would do, but if Afolabi can get going, and even then he can provide a helping hand to Noonan as well, and offer him advice, and just kind of he's been around the game, and yeah, look, if the two then can rub off on each other up front and be the main two, and obviously have Burke and Green, McGovern rotating in between, well then that's the best case scenario, and starts firing on all cylinders, hitting the ground running. But of course, look, that's a dream scenario.
Yeah.
Will expect patience, and one thing I know when players tend to come from, or when players tend to come to Rovers who have played for rivals in the past, fans don't tend to give them as much
No, the
time.
fans tend to be more critical.
I think so because there's more pressure. Like, let's be honest here. If, for example, you're Danny Grant and you're Jake Mulroney, don't hit the ground running, which neither of them did. I think Danny Grant's coming into his own, and Jake Mulroney, I think maybe he's getting there slower than expected. But if Afolabi is to take that look, and the added pressure is that your social media is when you play them is that obviously they're going to get more abuse from
Yeah,
like when like Rovers play Bows, I think it's like September time in Tala. I think that's the last one this season. Um, expect Afolabi to get, of course, tons of abuse then,
yeah,
and again, if he's not firing on all cylinders by then, there'll be abuse on the ground and there'll be abuse online. So I think actually in turn that ends up turning fans not against the player, but definitely kind of just puts more pressure on everyone. Nearly, it seems that fans want to see them do well, so they can kind of go back to the rival supporters to say, "Look, he's doing great for us,"
yeah,
and scoring goals or getting assists or whatever the case may be. Whereas then when they lose their patience quite quickly, that's got to play into the players as well. I
hmm,
think Jake O'Reilly, for example, I think his confidence seems to be quite low. I don't know that for sure. It's not a fact, but it just seems to be the case sometimes during games. Sometimes he loses possession, head drops, maybe not chasing out as much balls. I know people tend to call him lazy,
yeah,
um, but I think that also everything has an impact on it's a circular moment, really, isn't it?
yeah,
That they all play hand in hand
exactly.
to the next thing. So yeah, look, for Afolabi, a big name coming to the club, yes, 100%, but expect them to take time, particularly as strikers, because it's just like they could be doing everything else right, but if their name's on the score sheet, they tend to get a good
Yeah,
bit of
they tend
slack.
to get criticism. Yeah, for a striker, it's harder. I feel like it's harder to get going as a striker. You'll be criticised, and the pressure will only build until you're getting their name on the score sheet at least for the first time.
Yeah, like the pressure that comes around that first goal, particularly, and then they always
Yeah,
say it's like a monkey off the back then once you get the first goal.
yeah. Well, like it can take a while to get that first goal, and the pressure's only going to get worse each and every game that you're not getting that goal.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And then there's more critics. You have your Bows fan probably trying to make a jersey out of it or something.
Oh, probably no. No one bows. There'll definitely be a jersey or something.
A Bows jersey of Affalabi not scoring for 5 games or something. I think that's the next one, because they didn't get enough use out of that Oasis jersey anyways.
No, well, they might do it if Oasis announce another tour.
No. And then just one quick word, actually, what I think of it is Sabawale. No official announcement. Seems to be that people are taking it that it's confirmed and it's official done. But there's been no club announcement from either Shamrock Rovers or St Mirren that Sabawale's next permanent destination. Of course, his loan expired on the 30th of June. And, well, we haven't seen him since. He wasn't in the Sligo squad and he wasn't in the Floriana squad. So it's not looking good.
No. And he also posted.
Grateful and 4 pictures.
Ah.
Can't believe we've done it again.
Yeah, we fall in love. This one was a shorter loan as well.
Oh, you only got here in February.
He has been outstanding though.
Oh, he's been phenomenal. I don't blame St Mirren for wanting him back, but
he was too good that they wanted him back sooner.
Yeah, we should have just. Bradley should have been in his ear to say just a few mediocre performances now, just to balance it out a bit.
Yeah, he just goes and scores 4 on goal.
But yeah, look, obviously,
or he gets injured.
Well, it was announced that he had an illness. Yeah. That's why he missed Sligo. But well, where is he for Floriana?
Yeah, I don't know. It feels
doesn't like the he.
Yeah, I don't know. It's tricky, and he'll definitely be a name that if this is the end, he'll be missed.
Yeah, I'd imagine by the next episode that we record, we'll be recording after the second leg. We'll be recording it that night as well, and hopefully it's a positive result. But I imagine by then, by the time we record the next one, I presume we'll have some news on it.
A bit more news. Hopefully positive, but I don't think so.
Yeah, and sure, you never know. It might be next Tuesday or maybe the Friday. Don't know what's planned. It could be a Pico party too.
Hopefully, we don't know yet, but that would be ideal.
Yeah, but look, we'll move it on back to Floriana.
Yeah,
there's no game between today and next Tuesday, or when you're listening to this, it'll be Wednesday. But yeah, no game in between because the game was brought forward. It allows for the week rest. Maybe Rovers need that on the back of a long trip to Sligo. Look, you have to play a factor too.
Yeah, it's a long way to go.
A long trip in Sligo. It wasn't like a Dublin derby even. And on Friday it was the long old trip, and then to go to Malta.
Straight to Malta, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, look, the second leg.
Back in Tala,
or as the commentator says, Talicht. Is that how it's pronounced in Irish?
No, it's Taolacht.
Taolacht, yes, correct. Yeah. Big game. Biggest game of the season. 2-0 deficit to overturn. Can it be done, Adam?
I don't know. It can.
It can.
No, it can happen, but will it is different. Like I do believe Rovers have it in them to go out there and show up. We've seen them go out in qualifiers and score quite a few goals. Like last year, for example. Was it last year the Santa Clara one when
they Santa Clara won 2-1 away and drew 0 all at home in the playoff?
I'm thinking of when they won 4-0 at home, was it?
Or
when I was on international duty.
They won 4-0 away to St. Joseph's,
4-0, yeah.
I think, and then drew 0 all at home because 4 goals.
I was thinking of the 4 goals, but yeah, they can. They've shown that they can go out and compete in Europe, and they're going to have a massive performance. It's not going to be any like today where it was slow to start. That's just not a privilege you can afford to come next Tuesday. Being able a slow start or starting slow or just not really testing them early on, or the lack of quality chances is not a privilege or not something that you can afford when you're 2-0 down going into the game.
I'm just very frustrated that we're in this position. I will say that.
Even if it was 1-0, it'd be bearable. It's that second one. Because, alright, Rovers do go and win 2-0. Alright, then you have extra time.
Yeah, it's a big ask.
They have to score. They have to win by 3 goals to win in.
Yeah, and then as well as that you have...
I don't want penalties.
No, I hate penalty shootouts into my own team.
It's great when it's not your own
Yeah, I
team.
love watching it.
There hasn't been enough of them, and this is off topic, but in the World Cup, it's only been what
No,
two, I think,
Germany was one.
and the Morocco,
Oh yeah,
Holland.
Morocco.
That's
Yeah,
it. So they were like the first two matches as well, and not.
yeah.
Anyway,
Uh,
back onto it.
back on topic. Yeah. Um, it's yeah. I'm just like look, as I said, very frustrated with this now, and as well as that, then you have 3 days later, Rovers face Cork in the cup, and you have to expect the Cork performance to suffer now as a result of the monumental task that Rovers have next week. Um, like I don't. I think it's look. It'd be great if after Cork we're on this podcast saying we're after coming back against Floriana and we're in the third round of the cup.
Yeah, it'd be great.
But I expect one of these to suffer. And it's not like I know Cork obviously they're in the first division leading the way,
By a lot.
but I don't know. It just like particularly because this is so fresh, and now we're looking at the second leg, and now we're looking at facing the repercussions of
Yeah,
because of what Rovers didn't do tonight. So
yeah. Like even if they get the win, say next Tuesday, you'll expect that they could win 3-0, but if they do win, you are thinking it's going to be extra time.
yeah,
So I think having to go into a cup match 3 days later after playing perhaps 120 minutes of football
and they could end up
would
playing
be a
120
big
minutes
ask.
against Cork as well if it didn't.
Yeah, 240 minutes.
Now, that's very worst case
Yeah,
scenario.
4 hours of football in a week is possible.
Yeah, it's just yeah, it's bitterly disappointing. But look, somehow like it's definitely possible. Like it's not. I know we're being quite
100%.
pessimistic here. I will say, um, but it's definitely possible, and like it's within. It's definitely within the realms of possibilities for Rovers to do this, come back and beat Floriana, but they're gonna have to improve a lot, and they have a week now
Hmm.
to reset. There's no game of the weekend. Use that advantage and see what went wrong. Like I just think it slipped away from them. I don't think Rovers were overly poor, like we said. I
No,
don't think.
sloppy was more the word. Yeah.
Yeah, like costly mistakes.
Yeah.
Um,
But against high quality teams,
yeah,
mistakes are punished that little bit more.
I think we can expect to be in for a very whatever happened an infuriating evening. You
Yeah,
can expect that Floriana are gonna drop to the
sit there. Yeah,
ground. They're gonna waste time. They're
they're
gonna
gonna do
run the
all they
clock
can. They're
down.
gonna do the dirty stuff.
Yeah, they are. They're gonna come with a clear. And look, you can't really blame
It's
them.
part of the game. It's
Yeah,
part of
like
football.
if they think they can get into the second round of the Champions League qualifiers by doing that, they're gonna do it.
And the
And
money that comes with that as well for clubs
exactly.
makes such a big difference.
And even yeah, the money. We all know the significance of making any round past any round in Champions League
Yeah,
qualifiers, but particularly with the format of this, as look, we're all well equipped to it now, but the fact that it's you make it into the second round, you're guaranteed playoffs at least, and that's
yeah,
providing you lose the next two games, so the second round Champions League, third round Europa League, and then you're in playoffs to the Conference League. So look, we all know exactly what's at stake here. Rovers know exactly what's at stake, and they have to. This is might be a huge test of the team and where it's currently at because Rovers have to now use their know-how, their experience. There's a mix of experience and youth in this side at the moment. This might the injection of youth may be I don't want to say a negative here, but just the fact that there's some they're like your Adam Brennan and stuff, coming into the squad, not being well versed in what it takes to be getting into the next round. Even though he was phenomenal against Floriana, there's
yeah. No, he hasn't.
no doubt
He
about it.
wasn't bad in the slightest.
No, but it's a test of Rovers' know-how and where this squad is currently at. I think.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I think it's in competitions like this, experience matters so much. In large scale games like this on big occasions, playing even just in a two-leg format, some players like Adam Brennan might not have ever really done that. Uh, Maybe just like in the league, you never get it. So it's
Playoff semis.
relegation and stuff and playoffs from the
Yeah,
second division. But yeah, I just feel like these big occasions experience matters, and this very young team and a lot of the players have played in this, but certain players haven't. And is that biting Rovers now a little bit? Is that coming back to bite them a small bit?
this is where it could have been a lot handier to have Afalabi up and running by now.
Yeah,
Now I don't think you could. Well, obviously, look transfer window and stuff as well. of course. So it's not that. It's just as in quite literally technically wise, because
Yeah.
now Rovers need a minimum of 2 goals on the night before 90 minutes are up. Ideally 3 to avoid an additional 30 minutes in the legs, where the fixture list is going to be congested in anyways, because they play Cork 3 days later, because they'll have a European fixture the week after and the week after that, and they'll have league games in there too, regardless of what happens against Floriana. They'll be playing the following week in the second round of either the Champions League or the Conference League. Look, obviously staring down the barrel of it being the conference, about the curse there. About, staring down the barrel of it being the Conference League, but yeah, it's gonna take a lot. But look, if Rovers do click in, and like, look, obviously, as much as, yeah, there is probably a few players that aren't as experienced as others on the European stage. Look, there's plenty of heads who are, your Graham Burks, your Aaron Greens, your Lee Graces. Whenever Roberto Lopez does return, obviously I don't expect him to be returning next week.
No, I reckon it could be. Maybe he'll be on the bench for like the Cork match, but we'll be
Particularly if
seeing.
he's rotating quite a bit. He did offer to go to Malta,
Yeah, of course.
which is like, that just perfectly sums up the type of
Yeah,
man that we have as captain.
yeah. He would have been like that. Would have been mad. He basically would have been in what? But there was in America the game against Argentina, was it, or was it?
Yeah, Miami. Yeah,
Yeah, it was in Miami. Then they went back to Cape Verde to celebrate. Cape Verde. It's not actually Verde.
or is it Cabo?
Cabo Verde.
Ooh,
But they went back there to
felt like I
celebrate.
pronounced that one incorrectly. Anyways, look at him.
They went back there to celebrate, and
Looked like a festival as well.
yeah, it looked brilliant. They deserve it.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Well, remarkable stuff. And then he was willing to go straight to Malta. Just shows the type of man he was. And obviously he was on RTE on the Argentina game today.
Yeah,
On the panel.
should have been Cabo Verde against Egypt.
They probably would have bet them as well.
If number 4 was playing it anyways, or that fellow was.
Well, they wouldn't have conceded two.
Yeah, and then sure, their keeper signing for Inter Miami. It looks
Yeah, that's mad.
like,
You might as well. Make it four. He'll make more in 1 year than he did the rest of his career.
yeah,
Sort himself out for life.
by playing like maybe a year or two.
Yeah.
If he
If
probably,
he even plays that much.
yeah, no, he probably won't.
They're just doing sell a few jerseys and stuff.
Yeah,
Capitalise on it. I know that sounds bad on his point because obviously he was remarkable in this World Cup.
I think it depends. Like, I don't know the Inter Miami squad
Yeah,
too
I
well.
don't know.
Can't remember who's in.
I don't know the quality of their
Hugo
team.
Lloris, didn't he go there?
I think so for a while. I don't know. I thought he retired properly now, though.
He probably is. It's a name that sounds like he should be retired.
Well, you could say that about Lionel Messi, though.
I don't know about that. You saw his goal against.
No,
Cabo
he's
Verde.
with LAFC,
That's the one.
another American team.
Yeah, but look, back onto Rovers.
Just once Pico doesn't go to them.
Yeah, well, Bradley said if Pico was 10 years younger, he would be fielding bids of 10 million euros for him. It's not probably wrong, is he?
No.
But Pico responded to that, I think, and he said he wasn't the player he is now 10 years ago. He wasn't as good or
Yeah, I suppose.
so. But yeah, look, whenever Roberto Lopez does return, obviously his experience and his know-how, and even the additional experience he's got from the World Cup, will definitely cater into his game now as well.
Yeah, he's marked Messi.
He's marking it, yeah, exactly. Nudging him to see if he was real. Pocketed Jamal.
Well, I don't know if Messi is real.
Yeah,
Some of the stuff, yeah. Just even, I know we're on the World Cup again, but even the goal he scored against Cabo Verde.
Yeah, it went in because sure Pico was on the other side. So.
Yeah, well, that's why they passed it there. They wouldn't have passed it there in the first place.
Yeah, but yeah, look, at least we can try deflect here by making ourselves laugh about Pico.
That was a somber final few statements for the pod.
Is Rovers started 2-0 down from the first leg and have to overturn it. But look,
do you believe in miracles?
Mountains are there to be climbed.
Exactly.
You know, and like, to be honest, it's weird that I'm saying it because I sounded very somber there, and I'm quite more than quite. I'm very disappointed with the results, and look, the performance wasn't great. Don't think it was overly bad. I don't think Floriana were great either. However, I can see Rovers doing it. Like, I'm not here saying I'm not sitting here thinking no, that's just mission impossible. It's definitely mission possible. And I think the job could be done next week in Tala. And look, we all know exactly how Tala can be on European nights.
Yeah,
Like
it can be rocking.
it really can.
Summer's day as well. You'd expect everyone to be out.
Yeah, bright.
Hopefully, nice weather. Could be a hot one.
It could be. Um, but yeah, like if Rovers can use all that to an advantage. Look, obviously, anyone who hasn't bought a ticket and might be listening to this, make sure you do buy a ticket.
Yeah.
Support Rovers. They need this.
Mm-hmm.
Need it. It's a huge game, and I know maybe I think if for fans who kind of sit on the fringes, maybe of going to games who aren't overly invested, might be thinking that it's only the first round of the championship. But if you look into it, you'll know exactly how important this is. It's massive. Not only the money, but obviously what comes with it as well, the rewards. I said financially and just the competition wise,
and the chances of seeing Rovers in Europe.
Exactly. So it's a huge night, and make sure you get into your seat. Make sure you get there if you can, and yeah, it's going to be another huge night. Another huge night in Tala, European night, and allow Tala Stadium will make it all the better for Rovers and increase their chances. The players constantly say how they thrive off allow Tala Stadium being the 12th man, and that's exactly what next Tuesday has to be. Rovers need that. Rovers need to get back as well, of course they do.
Yeah, they can't just expect the fans to do everything.
Put the ball in the net. Bradley's subbing us on.
Yeah.
But yeah, look, it's a big game. You can't overestimate that. And yeah, look, at the moment, I am confident Rovers can do it. There's no, like, I'm not sitting. As I said, I'm not sitting here saying no, this is over. But it requires a big performance.
Yeah, and hopefully it's one we'll see.
Yeah, exactly. But that's it for this episode of the Milltown Way. Thank you as always for listening. And we'll chat to you after Floriana.
Thank you. Champions,